Right now, the $700 PlayStation 5 Pro is making noise throughout the gaming world for reasons I'm sure Sony brass would prefer it didn't. Even for a meaningful upgrade, the price point is exorbitant, and the relative substance of the PS5 Pro itself is very much open to question, with much of Sony's 9-minute technical presentation giving people plenty of fodder for a new wave of corporate needs you to find the difference between these two pictures memes. Now, I'm not making an entire video to dunk on the PS5 Pro. It's not worth the time or the effort when there are topics I actually do want to cover on this channel. Topics that I'm genuinely excited about covering for all of you. However, it does make a nice contrast to what I'm specifically going to talk about here. This is Little Akiba Games. I'm Patrick. Welcome back to the shop. I've honestly wanted to cover emulation as a channel feature since the rebrand a year ago. Literally a couple weeks ago marks a year since this channel became Little Akiba Games. And I hate that I haven't gotten around to it yet in all that time. However, I've been playing around with retro achievements these last few days, which is exactly what it says on the tin. It uses emulators to retrofit classic games with achievements that are ordinarily reserved for games on modern PlayStation and Xbox devices, or Steam. Now, I'm not normally an achievement hunter myself, like, at all. That's more my girlfriend's cup of tea. But as dismissive as I have been of them over the years, damn if they don't make a good excuse to go back and play old games you already love that you've otherwise done everything there is to do in several times over. After just a little over a week, my retro achievements profile, Little Akiba Games of course, reflects that. Now I could make a whole video covering retro achievements by itself because it really does a great job of injecting classic gaming with one of modern gaming's signature features, and that would be a satisfying story in that box alone. But things started running much deeper once I stepped into the PlayStation side of things. You see, while I love retro art for older systems like the Super NES and PC Engine, I absolutely detest it for platforms like the PlayStation and Dreamcast. Frame droppage, catastrophic input lag, and all other manner of poor performance tend to rear their head once the third dimension gets introduced to retro art. And I just wanted to be able to run Wipeout 3 Special Edition on my RTX 2070 without it looking like anus. DuckStation's reputation as the premier PlayStation emulator precedes itself. I've long heard about its ability to push the graphics of PlayStation games far beyond the bounds of the original hardware to levels unimaginable when they were being made. But I never had the time or the ambition to do the deep dive into making it happen for myself. At least until I finally got fed up once and for all with RetroArch's atrocious PlayStation performance this past weekend. I got curious when I saw it listed as a Retro Achievements supported emulator and finally decided to take it for a spin. R4 Ridge Racer Type 4 is widely regarded as one of the best looking games on the PlayStation. The team at Namco pulled out all the stops to get it looking and running the best it possibly could on the hardware they had to work with, and even conjured up a 60 FPS version of the first game in the series as a byproduct of the experimentation that went into R4's production. For a game that achieved so much, it's clear that the team at Namco wanted even more for it. With all of that in mind, I naturally had to go back and see how it would fare when running at native 1080p with bells and whistles like texture upscaling, 16:9 conversion, and my personal favorite, PGXP, which fixes the PlayStation's natural tendency to bend and warp 3D models when the camera gets too close to them. All of these elements put together provide a result that is quite remarkable. Friends, this isn't running a texture pack or any other kind of code-intrusive mod. It is simply the original PlayStation game running through DuckStation with the enhancements it includes as standard features. What this combination of effects does is effectively generate HD remasters of PlayStation games on demand. Add in the retro achievement support, and you aren't even sacrificing modern community features in the transition back to 5th-gen gaming. Moreover, this is just the PlayStation side of things. You can get similar effects from PSP and PS2 emulators as well these days, also with retro achievements support. I'm just highlighting the PlayStation with DuckStation in particular because the effect here is so pronounced. Now, if you're interested and you want help getting it set up, let me throw it over to a good friend of mine and one of my Street Fighter buddies, Mr. Sujano, who has a DuckStation setup guide ready to go at this link right up here in the corner. Go check that out when you're ready to get started yourself. Now, I've always been an advocate of having a good emulation machine as part of your gaming rig. It should be standard. But the current landscape in particular provides an interesting juxtaposition. Sony is proposing a $700 machine that barely constitutes an upgrade over the PS5 that has been on the market for nearly 4 years, while adding no games to its library, and those enhancements are on the assumption that you have a 4K TV. In comparison, a good emulation machine introduces the availability of thousands of games not currently playable on the PS5 to your gaming practice, with visual enhancements over their original versions and even achievement support. So, which is the real PlayStation Pro? Just a little food for thought. That's all for now. If you liked this video, then please be sure to like, comment, share, and especially subscribe to let YouTube know you like what's going on over here. Click the notification bell to know right away when the next video is up. I look forward to seeing you back here next time at Little Akiba Games.